So, man, how long you been in Austin now?
Like about 2.5 months, I think.
So 2.5 months.
Somewhere around there.
And so you came out. When did you get on Kill Tony?
Oh, that was like my third week being here.
Third week. Okay.
I think so.
Right on.
Yeah.
After that experience, what kind of did you see a bump from the first 2 weeks to that week, or did you see a difference after Kill Tony?
There's definitely been a couple people that I've met that I didn't know beforehand that recognized me from Kill Tony, but as far as anything like more gigs or book shows or anything like that, the only book shows I've gotten were ones that I kind of initiated in the first place.
So you had to work it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How was it coming out here as a newbie to the town, to the area? Yeah. Well, let me back up. Have you been doing comedy before this?
Yes.
All right, how long have you been doing comedy total?
I started literally in 2020.
Okay.
In January 1st. It was like it's kind of sort of like a New Year's resolution thing. I don't really make those, but I was in the workforce and constantly getting my ass kicked at work, going home, get my ass kicked by life, and just being like, this is bullshit. I want to do something else.
Right.
And then I decided my brother was doing comedy. Well, he was doing open mics and stuff too, and I started going to the same places he was going to.
Is he older or younger than you?
He's 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah. But he started down that road, so he showed me a couple of options, like what was that one? It was in Bowling Green, Ohio, was my very first show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was at a tiny little bar right there on Main Street in Bowling Green. I can see the picture of the dude who's the logo, but I cannot remember I think it's Grumpy Dave's.
Oh, okay.
I think. That sounds familiar to me.
Grumpy Dave's in Bowling Green.
Yeah, that was where I first performed.
So, was that an open mic, or did you actually get on a show?
Oh, it was an open mic.
It wasn't, yeah.
Yeah. My first show didn't come until later when a production company picked me up to do a paid spot out in Luna Pier, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to drive for that one?
I did.
Was that worth the drive?
Oh, yeah. I got to chill on the beach, drink alcohol right on the beach, got paid to do a comedy show. Yeah. You know, met some nice people, had a good time.
Did you feel like you made it at this point, that this was, I should start getting paid from now on type of thing? Or do you think that this was like a fluke? Or after that first paid gig, how'd you feel walking away with the check? Like, I'm going to get more of these now? Like, this is the next step?
Well, I knew in my own brain that expecting that was kind of silly, considering how little I've been in the game, you know what I'm saying? It was just much more of a right place, right time kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, so like I just happened to respond to their advert, and they happened to pick me up, and went from there. And they gave me some money, but like, yeah, I didn't even get my second paid show till I came out here to Austin. So that's like 2 years later.
Oh wow, okay,
yeah.
So you really put some more work in there between then, huh?
Yeah, I tried to at least.
Yeah. Now, when you came out to Austin, what was the plan driving out here?
So the plan was kind of an absence of plan.
Okay.
It was just more of that. I'm sitting here doing something I hate in Ohio, and it's killing my soul.
Right.
And I'd rather be struggling physically, because that's a lot easier to mend than soul damage.
Right.
And so I decided, you know what? I got a car. It's good on gas. I can sleep in that thing. You know, I can DoorDash, make a little bit of money, and I can do that anywhere, just kind of float by. And I came down here to Austin because I was just like, seems like everyone from California is going there, and I kind of wanted to go to California. But if everyone's leaving California to go to Texas, let's see what's down there. And the original plan was to be down here for a little while and then kind of travel north up the West Coast. Uh-huh. But never got that far.
What'd you leave behind in Ohio?
Everything.
So did you have like family, kids? What?
No kids.
No. Just parents.
Yep. My mom is in Toledo with the rest of her family, and then most of my dad's family and himself is up in Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, but the only family member I got that's not in one of those two places that I know for a fact is down in Florida, which is my mom's mom.
All right, right on, man. So when you're going out to when you're coming out here, you're telling your family goodbye. Were they like supportive of you going for this? You've been doing it for a couple years now, or were they like, "Don't do it"? Or
my mom was kind of on the idea of just just get the fuck out already.
Oh,
Just
really?
go.
Just done having around the house. Yeah.
Like, you've been talking about this shit for years. I'm good here. Like, you can go and nothing's gonna fall apart. Just fucking get out of here. Go.
How was the reception when you got here, as far as being a new comic in town?
It's a lot different attitude than back in Toledo and Ohio, I'll tell you that much. People out here are a lot more friendly. You know, people are willing to have conversations with you, and they don't feel bothered if you happen to stop them on the street and just be like, hey, do you know where this thing is? You know, because like you do get that in Toledo, some motherfucker will be like, man, why the fuck you talking to me?
Oh, wow.
I was looking for some help. I'm sorry. Man.
I always wondered what the Toledo or the Ohio accent was like. Now I know.
It's not necessarily the Ohio accent. That was just that one particular guy I remember for a fact.
That's funny. So coming out here, people have been nicer. The reception's been good. You started working. You started doing mics. How many mics were you getting on? Here?
Like 14 to 18 a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're doing what most people do in a year, in a week, pretty much, huh?
Yeah, maybe by numbers.
Yeah. So on the 14 to 18 or the 14 mics a week, are you seeing like crowds? Are you seeing a lot of just other comics? Or is it a good mix of everything? Is it?
Depends on the location. There's a couple of locations around town that I've seen that. Yeah, of course, at open mics, most of your audience is just going to be comics. That's just kind of the scene down here. You know, you go to enough of these things, you see enough of the same people. Like, everyone's kind of got their own little thing.
Right.
But that was the key to me doing all of them, is because I was able to see everyone's particular subsect of where they like to go. As an example, the difference between, say, a place like Freddo's that happens on Tuesdays, you know, and then, say, Tiny Bar. That both happen on Tuesdays, but you don't really see the same crowd at Freddo's that you do at Tiny Bar.
Okay.
You might see a couple of the same comics, but totally different set of like random people that'll be in there.
But you're going to both of them. Yeah. Okay.
And it can be a problem sometimes because it's really like that one, the next one, and then Tiny Bar, and like having the time to drive there, and especially because I haven't been doing that thing where I'm reaching out and being like, hey, can you sign up for me? Because I'm not going to be there in person. Yeah, I was like, I never wanted to offload that responsibility, you know? I was like, if I can do it, then I should be able to get it done, and I shouldn't need to rely on people signing my name and being, you know.
Now, I get if you're late on another mic, you're late on the list, and you're not going to make it to the list.
Yeah.
But if you get there early, you can start signing. You can hit all of them in a night, but you have to be there really early.
Yeah.
But you do miss out on things. I noticed, like, I was early to Lucky Duck this last week, and I missed, like, Hans Kim coming through there and other things. Yeah, so I was a little bit too early, I guess. But but I noticed he's been doing a lot of open mics again and working his stuff.
Yeah, I see him at the Creek one time. He was Hans Kim. I mean, all respects out to him, man. He's killing it out here, you know.
Still working it too. Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's cool to see him even, you know, coming to open mics, and that's probably just him messing around or just throwing out something random. But
I think he's working on stuff. I think he's built. He's seeing what he doesn't want to try it out with a big audience, you know. But he's writing new stuff. I think is what the deal is.
Yeah,
because you'll see that with like even like Ari Spears come through there and try new stuff. You know, you'll see people like try material.
Yeah, I was there the last night. I heard Ari Spears was there, but I was out in the backyard smoking and chilling with people.
A little bit, hanging out too much. You're missing the real crowd sometimes. Yeah, I do that.
The worst part is like people are just like, oh, Ari Spears was just in there. I'm like, who's Ari Spears?
Oh no, I know. He's one of my favorite guys from like Mad TV because I like when I was in LA making the documentaries. He was somebody I wanted to talk to, and I ended up talking to his co-stars and stuff, but I never really got in touch with him. So the first time I actually met him was out here.
Yeah,
so it was kind of
I
weird.
just think it's generally hard for me to have like that sense of like, oh, this person's famous or a celebrity or anything like that. Just because I'm a little bit too narcissistic, you know what I mean?
And that's LA's perfect for you for that.
Yeah, I'm just like, who cares if you're a star? I'm here talking about me.
Yeah, that's
why do we need to talk about you?
Yeah, you're not ready for Texas. You need to go straight to LA.
I'm not ready for Texas.
So you got out here, you're working DoorDash, you're doing your thing, man. You're getting mics. So when you're doing that many mics, you can actually see the act develop, right? You can actually work it in like within a day, even. Like you can work a good bit. So, I noticed that, I'll write a joke or whatever, but when you actually tell it on stage and you find there might be a whole new joke in there that you didn't even write, you know. So I think doing that many mics, you really get to experience that.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun because when I brought up Freddo's earlier, so when one of the first couple of times I went out to Freddo's, I met a cat named Mac Randy.
Okay.
And that cat, me and him were just bullshitting while the open mic was going on. We're both waiting for our spots, It was both, I think, our first couple of times coming out to mics in this area. So we were just being new cats chatting to each other because we're like, hey, if anyone here's going to understand where it's you, because you're not doing this shit either. But we were just bullshitting, and that's actually where that minute I got for Kill Tony came up.
Okay.
Was right there in that conversation. Is we were just bullshitting back and forth, just telling jokes and keeping each other entertained. All of a sudden, both of us together somehow came up with the idea of like people have a time date, kind of like food. After a while, you got to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about with my Kill Tony minute. I haven't done it yet. I'm like, it's getting old now. I want to write something new, I think, and but I haven't done it yet. But now I'm like, maybe I can do something better.
And the fun part is, after I did it on Tony and I watched it back 30,000 times, because again, narcissism. But outside of that, like after I watched it back 30,000 times, I was just like, there's two separate jokes in there. Because I'm like looking at the audience, looking at everyone's faces and feeling reaction. And I'm just like, I got good laughs right off the rip. Another laugh. And then a good long pause. And then at the end of it, there was another laugh.
Yeah, okay.
Just because I think that was an awkward factor. So I was just reading through it. And I was like, these were obviously funny.
Yeah.
Why were those funny?
Yeah.
And well, it was because some crazy shit to say. I come from a long line of terrible people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
But then I watched and I saw that when the laugh stopped, I was like, oh, I lost the audience here.
Yeah.
Because I moved on to a completely unrelated matter when I really should have just stayed on that first thing.
Subject, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I've now since then took that 1 minute bit and split it into a 1 minute and 30-second bit and like a whole 5 minute bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So have you done some longer mics? I know most open mics are like 3 to 5 minutes, right? Have you got to do like a 10 to 15? Or?
I have. I've gotten to do a couple of 10s out here. The first 10 I got was at Texas Sake with Hank Garza. He runs a pretty good show out there. If you ever get a chance, go out there and catch him. But he gave me my first 10-minute spot, and it was awesome because I wasn't even on the list.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like I asked him, I was like, hey, is your, how do I get there? Or is your show still going on? Oh, no, backtrack. I met him at Anderson Mill.
Okay.
We were both doing a show at Anderson Mill, and that's actually interesting. Going to Anderson Mill taught me a lot because that's like the one that's in the north versus all these other ones that I usually go to that are in the south.
Yeah, I do Shooters and Anderson Mill up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a totally different group of people, with a whole different attitude and mindset, it feels like.
Yeah, because most of them have been banned from the Creek in the Cave, so they can't go down there anymore, so they have to stay up north. No, that's Tim Warner. He was telling me that last time I was up there. I was like, hey, man, how come I never see you at the Creek? He's like, because Rebecca still runs it. I'm not allowed back. So, yeah, that was...
Poor Tim Warner. Yeah. But yeah, no, I met him at Anderson Mill, and I was asking him about his show, and he was like, yeah, the show's here, and come out and do it. And I was like, cool. And he's like, sign up on here. And I kept trying to do the sign up on his thing, but it was not updated or anything like that. But I decided, you know what? I'm just going to hang out. I'm over here doing a DoorDash. I just ended an order. It's not even 5 minutes away from where I'm at. Stop this. Go hang out over there for a minute. And went up there. And first night there, he was like, hey, buddy, thanks for coming out. And I was like, yeah. And he realized that there wasn't a couple of people aren't showing up.
Okay.
And so he's like, yeah, we're going to have you on standby. Guaranteed you're getting up tonight.
Wow.
Fantastic, And then it just so happened that when my line came up, we were already in the 10-minute portion. So I got to do a whole 10 minutes, which was like my first 10 minutes, man.
Nice, brother. That's cool.
Yeah.
So by working open mics, you networked your way into and getting an actual show almost.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And Hank's been a real good buddy to me, he even took me out to Dallas not too long ago to go up there at the Hyena because he had his show out there, and he just kind of brought me along, and I got up there too. So
oh, nice. So he brought you to open for him, kind of, or
yeah,
that's cool.
Being friends with people is usually how you get into places. You just don't talk about work, and that's what everyone wants to talk about. It's because we're all being obsessed over here chasing the dream. But don't talk about work. Just hang out and have a good time, and that's all I did with Hank and shooting the shit. Talk back and forth, became buddies, and now he sees it that every now and then when he's doing a thing, he'll take me along and have a good old time.
That's cool, man. So you've been out here, you were out here the 2.5 months. You lived in your car the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you didn't like try gonna crash and meet networking in a way into a room to rent or nothing like that. You just
No, because being under somebody else's household roof is always an issue, and I'm just like, I can survive in my car.
okay.
You know, like I've done it a little bit before. It's not the first time I've had to sleep out of the back of my car. You know, there's been a couple of points in my life where I've hit some low points, and that's been my thing, and I've usually fixed it from then. But I was just like, it ain't no big deal. It's not like I'm in Ohio where it fucking
Yeah.
freezes solid in the
Right.
winter time. Out here in Texas, like it might get a little cold, but I can just bundle up.
Now, did you encounter anything crazy? Like anybody like come like try breaking in your car while you're in there, or you see some fights go on outside your window, or anything happen that was nuts?
Not too out the normal.
Uh-huh.
Mostly it's just been I've been playing Captain Save the Homeless.
Okay.
Since I've been here, I have had to rescue 3 separate people. One of them needed a ride, so that way they could go to a job place. They apparently work for some sort of construction union down here and just got out of jail for some reason. And so he's going back there to get his shit straight. And so I helped him get out there. And then 2 other times, one just like a couple of days ago, actually. Same day I changed the alternator in my battery, which was useless. But I had to rescue 2 women who both lived about an hour away, who were just stuck out here, nowhere to go. One of them was just hanging with the wrong people, got left.
Oh, wow.
Stranded.
Yeah.
You know. So I took her ass home. And then not too long ago, I saved another woman who is mental.
Oh yeah.
Like, I had to make sure her mama was still on the phone the whole car ride there. And originally I didn't even want to take her home because I was like, I just don't have the resources to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm scraping here. I'm only doing the DoorDash thing. I'm not necessarily making a whole lot. You know, it's not like you're paying me for this. So it's like, it's really hard to do.
So why did you end up doing it? What?
Because her mama started crying on the phone, man. Like, her mama...
But you have no connection to this person at all?
Not at all. Nope. I was just sitting there and at the Planet Fitness where I usually nap in the car and just sitting there smoking, minding my own business. And these 2 people walked up. One of them was the woman and one of them was another dude. And the dude had a crack pipe in his fucking hand and a bicycle when he walked up. So I knew this was crazy. But then they asked, for a smoke, and I gave them a smoke because, just whatever, leave me alone. But I gave them the smoke, and then I'm too nice to not just end the conversation. And for some reason, she just kept wanting to roll the conversation into something else, and eventually it just broke down to where she wanted to make an emergency phone call to her mother, and I was like, okay, her mother's gonna come save this bitch, cool.
Oh wow.
And then the mom's like, oh yeah, no, I can't come save you or nothing like that, like, cars broke down, I don't have any money, all this other shit. And just they're having a conversation on the phone. I'm holding the phone and it's on speaker and shit, so that way when it starts to die I can end and leave. But, man, the mama just started looking at her, just started telling her, like, you know how much this hurts, baby. I can't come save you right now, and it's killing me that I can't do that. And this was a part of the conversation when I was taking her home, too. It's like, not too long ago, a couple years ago, a cousin of mine was in a desperate situation. She was addicted to heroin and was being whored out of her own house, and she was reaching out to her mother to... like, hey, Mom, I need to get out of here. I need to come down to you. I need to get out of the situation. And she was a week away from doing that because she had to save the bus fare.
Wow. So...
And she ended up dying in a house fire.
Damn. So this is a memory that comes back to you why you want to help other people out and be that nice guy?
Well, it's definitely a lot better than being the asshole I usually can be.
Okay. Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, yeah, there's the alternative. I end up being an asshole a lot of times. I used to help people out a lot when I was younger. I would just pick them up on the side of the road and give them rides or whatever. I guess I still do. I mean, we do try to help out our fellow person as much as we can, but it's just...
Especially, well, like, if you're used to being at the bottom, you know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? It's not as hard for you to make that justification to help this person because you're like, I was there not too long ago, And especially because I've looked at it like this, like, I'm not homeless. I'm one step away from it. I'm living in a car.
Well, yeah. Well, now let's talk about that now, man. So, yesterday, right? It was yesterday?
Yeah. 2 days ago.
Was it 2 days? No, it was yesterday, right?
Yesterday What, the accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that was 2 days ago at this point.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're driving, doing DoorDash again,
Mm-hmm.
right? Fix to go to Thursday Night Mike's, doing your thing, right? Take us down what happened, man?
So I'm working DoorDash out in the bee caves, making decent money, and eventually it gave me this hour trip out to Lago Vista. And so I go out, make the delivery to Lago Vista, and I'm coming on my way back. And now, driving on my way back, I'm not from here. I need the damn GPS to tell me where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So I constantly always have to have the phone in the hand and check the map to see where the hell I'm at, you know. And for some reason, I look down, and it's like, oh, your dash has ended, like, completely. And I was like, why? The fuck? And then I looked up, and all of a sudden, the road went from a 2-lane down to a 1-lane. With a median in the middle,
like a concrete median.
Just not like a big thing, but just like a little bump and then dirt and grass, you know.
Yeah.
But definitely enough to fuck your axles and tires up if you hit it going some decent speeds, which I was, you know. And then I was like, oh shit, had no time to react and avoid the medium. But then I was like, I'm turning way too far right, so I need a counter turn. I start to counter turn, and at that point, the back end of the car just fucking fishtailed right out from under me, and I know I was fucked at that point, just going for a ride. But I ended up jumping that median, going across 2 lanes of oncoming traffic, jumping the sidewalk, going up on a dirt mound, and that eventually ended with me on the sidewalk once I realized my foot was still on the gas pedal.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. So you were floored the whole way through all that ride, huh? Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
I think that was the biggest problem of that whole entire scenario.
That
If I'd have just taken my foot off the gas pedal,
maybe use the brake,
I might have been fine.
Yeah. So, going through all those bumps and crashes, your whole front end gets tore off?
Yeah, the whole bumper gets ripped off, but it was barely hanging on anywhere, you know. It was pretty much just cosmetic at this point. But, yeah, that whole front bumper gets taken off, and that would have been fine, except for the fact that hitting the curbs took out both front tires. So those tires got shredded. Well, now I'm on metal. Well, you hit something like concrete with metal, the metal's going to break. So my rims were busted, you know. And the car would still move and run. That is until I eventually got it down to complete stop, and I end up moving it so that way it would be facing the right direction, so I know the eventual tow truck would come up, would have an easier time of getting it towed.
Right.
But I eventually open up the hood, and I'm like, oh, shit. Because the 2 days before that, I was changing my alternator and my battery. I literally needed someone to come play Captain Save-A-Ho like 3 times because my alternator was just killing my battery. There was like a bad ground in it. And so I finally got the money to get both parts, and I fixed them up 2 days before this.
Yeah.
So that was a waste of money. But when I was taking out the alternator, there was a gentleman who said he'd been a mechanic for 70 years who also lived pretty much at the Planet Fitness like I did, and he had a tool I need to be able to get one of these bolts off of there because it was just fucked. But with his help, I was able to get it done. But also in the process, he ended up cracking my engine mount because he used like that drill bit that's really strong.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It kind of like jacks and shit. But he used that on my engine mount to re-raise my engine back up, and that broke some of those attachments. You know, like cracked them and shit like that. And so through all the forces of going through this accident, it completely broke off those sections of the engine mount, and so the engine was actually sitting on the floor when the whole thing was done. So yeah, it's done. It's over.
So there's no engine in the car no more.
I mean, it still turns on and will go, but engine mounts are expensive.
Yeah.
So are rims and axles and front ends and bumpers.
Yeah, you have to build a whole new car now.
Yeah, I mean, like I spent $3,000 on it. Owed $3,000 on it anyway. I'm just like,
Oh, you still owe $3,000 on it?
Oh, yeah, I stopped paying on it, dude.
Come get it now, huh?
Yeah. Well, that was the idea of coming out here to Texas when I stopped paying on it, too. I was just like, what are they going to do? Send a tow truck all the way from Ohio out here to Texas to come get this thing? I doubt it. And especially if they did, then I'm in the car, so what are you going to do then? You know, that's a whole different subsect of getting a car who's dealing with me.
That's funny.
Yeah, but then I was just like, you know, when I can afford to, I want to pay this off so I don't have to fucking worry about it. But you fuckers can wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially because in the condition I bought the car, they're like, oh, yeah, good car, you know, he's perfectly fine, everything works. Well, it had a fucked up alternator from the get-go. You know, it's just been getting worse and worse and worse, or else it wouldn't have done that. And then it didn't have no brakes hardly at all in it. Like there was no brakes in the back, and in the front it was just like little pads and shit. So when I went to go do the brakes, I was just like, oh yeah, they sold me this with no fucking brakes, and I've been riding around like a month. I'm glad I didn't have to use them in that time.
Yeah. So you get a lemon. You're doing DoorDash. You leave Ohio. You're living in your car. What part of this says, okay, now's the time to do stand-up comedy? What makes you go, okay, this is my moment?
Yeah, comedy is just a new venture for my actual pursuit, which is just being on stage.
Okay.
You know, like I come from a background where I was heavy into theater and music. You know, like I've done shows for a couple of theaters around Toledo. I've went to college for music education, performed in the Huntington Center of downtown Toledo where the Walleye play, and I was a part of a 10,000 voiced choir in front of a whole sold out Huntington Center.
Oh, wow.
So I've done some pretty big shows doing that stuff already, and that stuff was always just natural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have to try. It was never a job. It never felt like work. Like even school productions or anything else like that, you know, it was just always came natural to me.
Okay.
So I was just like, fucking do that.
Yeah, okay.
You know, instead of doing this work that's killing me, maybe just do this, get lucky enough, figure out the pathway through this, and then I don't have to do a 9 to 5 that's killing my soul. I can just do this and have fun.
So now looking back on it, was the 9 to 5 still worth having while doing comedy, or do you think just going all in like you did is the way to go still?
Well, I still needed the 9 to 5, unquote. That's why I did the DoorDash, you know what I mean? But absolutely, if you can, like comics, we have our shit in the afternoon, you know? Sometimes it's early as like 2 or something like that, but it's always afternoon or nighttime that we have our shit going, you know? Well, that means you have your day open.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time.
Well,
Do something to help you out. If you're not at the point where your art's going to help sustain you, you still have bills, you still got to eat.
Right.
So having a 9 to 5 on top of doing that is what you should be doing, unless you're just a rich fuck anyway.
Yeah, you think DoorDash is a good supplement for that? Did it make enough for you think?
It can be. Depends on how hard you hit it and how gracious you are and how much tips you get and stuff like that. It can be. It's definitely not something you can reliably count on, because sometimes you just don't get a lot of good money coming in. Sometimes you just get an average. Like with the time I was doing, I would usually spend my week just networking, like weekdays, networking, communicating, going to shows at night, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday would be my work days. So then I would just literally spend all days as far as I can get myself up. I never set an alarm or anything. But I was like, when I get up, I go do that. And I do that all day, and the next day, because you'd get paid Tuesdays, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get paid weekly with the DoorDash, huh?
Mm.
So I do Uber Eats, and I can cash out like after one trip. Like I get money like...
They have that option on DoorDash, but then I got out here, and when I was looking at that option, I was just like, it takes a week to set up, and like, I'm at the point that if something weird in their system works out, that, okay, since you selected this option, we cancel all payments and move to the day. You know, like I didn't want anything weird to happen, so I just never invested in that because I kind of needed my money that Tuesday. Yeah, so I never got into that. And then there was a couple other ones where it was just like, yeah, just get this card and then you can have access to your money immediately. And I was like, fuck that card. All these cards are always bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I just put my debit card into it, and it just pays it directly, like instant. Like,
well, it sounds like Uber is a lot nicer than DoorDash.
Yeah, I think so. I never did DoorDash. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been a good Uber driver though.
Why is that? I don't deal with people. I only do Uber Eats.
Well, that'd have probably been better.
Yeah.
I was about to say there's not really ever any room for somebody.
No. I don't. I hate people. I don't want them in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just
got way too many weapons in the car to have another person in my car.
I just drop off their food at their door and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about it.
Yeah. I wrote a bit about it, about how what the bullshit I'll do for $7 is, like driving to oncoming traffic to get across the lanes, and do all sorts of shit just so you don't even meet me at your door, just so I can just drop it off and leave it for you. But that was part of it.
It's definitely the interesting thing, fucking doing the DoorDash. Definitely downtown Austin is like there's never any parking. Yeah. So you just see the craziest shit where there's just a whole lane of traffic that's just lines of cars with people with their goddamn four-ways on to try to go get some food.
I don't fuck around downtown. I avoid everything downtown. I cancel so many orders too. Like if you have a gate that you didn't give me the gate code for, I'm like can't find customer. I'm eating your burger. Like I cancel like immediately. I don't fuck around with if you have like attitude on me, I'm nah, fuck you. I cancel. I have a 98% rating on Uber, dude. I don't because I don't deal with assholes. Like I cancel their food before they can give me a thumbs down. So
Right.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You found a little cheat code in the system.
Yeah, I do. Plus, I also pick I kind of pick and choose where I want to go. Like today, we were going around the lake over on like the west side, over by like Anderson Mill, and you know that they're going to be like better orders or further out. They're it's just I don't deal with like Pflugerville's all apartments.
Fucking Pflugerville,
Yeah.
man. Like, who the fuck named that shit?
I don't know.
Pflugerville.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you need a P and an F?
And now they do that with all their stuff. Anything that starts with an F also starts with a P in that town. Yeah. Like the fire station will be PF. Yeah. Yeah.
Only in Texas.
Yeah.
Only in Texas.
Yeah. So I don't get it. It's like Barcelona.
It's like, is it German or something? Or like a Spanish word?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is
Indian
Barcelona
word?
you're supposed to pronounce it with that lisp, how everybody talks with a lisp in Spain because of the one ruler or whatever?
Yeah.
I think that's how it is. Maybe it's just like one guy accidentally put an F in there, or P in there. He's like, because he's probably trying to do PH and put PF, and like he fucked up. Yeah, so,
He was still learning the PH rule.
Yeah, I know I want the F sound. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's a PF make an F sound.
Yeah, exactly. That's I think what happened.
Don't know what that accent was. I apologize.
That's the Pflugerville accent. It's kind of the Ohio one, but a little more eastern.
Oh, man. I know that's been a weird part for me, is especially come down here. Is since I've been down here, a lot of people have remarked on like my accent. They're like, "Man, you sound like you have accents from all over." Yeah.
That's how I am. I've only lived in a place for like 2 years my whole childhood growing up for the longest. Yeah, we moved like every 2 years, and it was all over the place. Yeah,
Grew up a very similar way. It was funny. Most people usually ask, like, what happened to do that? Like, did you have a parent in the military? Yes. But that's not the reason why. My parents were divorced, so I kept hopping back and forth between them, which is why even on Kill Tony, I said I was an I-75 baby. It's because when they split, literally, they were Michigan to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So every time I'd go from one to the other, I'd fucking drive up, drive down, drive up, drive down, drive up, drive down, and I moved back and forth between all those states in between, Before I was even in high school, I'd lived in 4 different states, It was
So how was it making friends and stuff growing up like that? Is that
really challenging.
Yeah.
Especially when your dad, for the absolute certainty, is fucking on the spectrum, and then you're the generation that finds out you're on the spectrum, and it's still part of that generation where nobody knows what the fuck this is or how to handle it or what it is. Even when I was in high school, that was a weird part for me. It's like, oh, he's got a disability, he must be slow, or any of these other kinds of things. And it's just like, no, I just get pissed off really fast because I don't like listening to stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just had ridiculous anger problems, but like, I was smart. I got A's and B's without trying, not even doing the damn homework. Literally just me paying attention in class and doing tests. That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't be dumb and successfully rob your high school for $20,000.
So you robbed your high school for $20,000?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
You gotta tell us how.
Oh, dude, man. I was fucking, it was my junior year, and I had a 2-block period. So out of the 7 hours in the day, I had 2 of them right together, which was like this tech class. And it was a class called Precision Machining. Yeah. And they had a whole bunch of metal and like metal lathes and vertical end mills and like welding equipment. We even had a laser cutter, so that was pretty cool, But eventually I was just like, I can make some money off of this shit. It's sitting here just doing nothing.
Did you already have a buyer in mind?
I didn't. It was just a thought. And then, not too long after that, in lunch, I met this other kid who had special needs. But he was actually slow. Like, not trying to be mean on the guy or anything like that. He got good grades, and he was a decent dude. I like that cat. We even still talk sometimes, even though how it ends. But he was a good dude, But then I was just like, Fall Guy.
Yeah.
So I wrapped him into my shenanigans because I would rob the classroom. The next period is lunch, where we both have lunch. I'd give him the shit. He'd put it in his backpack. He'd take it to the scrapyard and then bring back the money.
Huh.
And because he was slow, I never had to worry about the idea of him thinking, oh, I can just keep the money and fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So he was perfect for that aspect. Genuine good partner in that whole endeavor.
So did you pay him off, or did you just give him Twinkies, or would you?
Oh, we split the money 50-50,
Okay.
you know?
What if he was like taking 200 off the top and then splitting it with you 50-50? So
Well, then credit to that guy, you know. But like, also he was the fall guy,
he's
so
like, this
like
guy's so slow.
he was the only one. He was the only one at risk. Fuck
Yeah.
it, you know. If he was smart enough to take some off the top, that was on him.
That's funny.
But yeah, we were doing that for about 8 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And then the school's like, "Where's all of our shit?"
yeah, and they searched me and that entire class. Everyone that had that class, they searched them countless times.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out where the fuck this shit was going, you know? And of course they didn't ever find it because it wasn't on any of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so eventually we did get caught though, because eventually I got ballsy. And I went up and picked up this like 300-pound chunk of metal. Right? It was about this big and like that thick. And I carried it under some books right down the hallway to lunch. And no one said shit. I passed by a cop, vice principal, all of that shit. No one said a fucking thing. I go into the lunchroom. I give him the medal. He gives me the money. I go to get my lunch. And then some other stupid woman from that stupid table comes up and is just like, oh my God, what is this? And starts trying to pick up the piece of metal, thinking like it's a doll or an action figure or some shit. I don't know. She was gone, like mentally. And of course, she didn't have the strength, and it just fell out her hand and hit the floor and went.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Like I heard it when I was getting lunch, and I was like 100 feet away, you know. And so the cop who's on station walks over, and it's like, "What is this? Where did this come from? Whose is this?" "Oh, that's Kyle's," she says immediately. This bitch!
Yeah.
I wasn't even there.
Wait. Yeah. So you had the fall guy the whole time, and then one chick saw you, and that was it. Huh?
Yeah, just one bitch included herself in the situation
slow
and
guy-
fucked it all up, and then me and him both got arrested.
Oh, so he actually got arrested too?
Yeah, got pulled right out of class, right out. You know, like I went to jail right then.
Wow.
Yeah, they took me in and fingerprinted me and shit like that. My parents had to pay bail. But then here's the part I was talking about him being the fall guy, you know, because it sounds like we both went down for this. They couldn't touch me.
Huh.
I had permission because I had the class and I was going to this school, you know, I had permission to use the materials in the classroom. Me taking the materials and taking to the lunchroom and giving them to this dude, no way at all criminally holds me liable for anything.
What he does with it after that is on him. Huh?
Exactly. He's the one that took it off the school grounds, so he's the one that was guilty of stealing.
Yeah.
But of course, that's also why I picked him, because he was slow, and is because when we went to court, nobody wanted to prosecute us. We've been doing this for months. Both of us have IEPs, and he's special needs, and I'm just behavioral choices, you know what I'm saying? But like together on paper, we're both fucking idiots. And we've been robbing this school for 8 months to the total of $20,000.
Wow.
Who wants to take responsibility for that? You know what I mean? So like when I went, because they couldn't actually legally hit me with anything, they made me sign some sort of behavioral contract stating that I'm going to be a good boy and never do it again.
Right.
You know? And they don't want to go after him either because they know I was the one that came up with the plan.
Right.
You know? They went back, they saw the camera footage that they had in the school, which I never thought why they didn't question to look at those shit when they were looking for all this metal in the first place.
Well, it's so hard to know when, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of footage.
It is a lot of footage, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They eventually did go back and watched all that, and they knew I was the ringleader. Yeah. So they wanted to hit me, but they couldn't. But they didn't want to hit him because he actually was slow. He was just being used and manipulated by me. Yeah. And so when he went to court, all he had to do was go to probation once a week for every weekend for a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so what'd you learn from that?
Crime pays when you have special needs.
Yeah. I can see that.
Definitely wasn't that the law is always right.
Yeah. I would take like test tubes and stuff from like the chemistry lab, and I wanted to be a chemist, so I would take different like beakers and shit when I was a kid. But Lego Technics from our tech ed, that was a fun one.
I always thought that I would have gotten into chemistry because I always knew, being from a military family, that like if you know your chemistry, you can take shit that's under your sink and just make bombs.
Yeah.
And I'm a true American, so I like it when things explode. Yeah. And so I always knew that was a facet. So I thought when I would get into chemistry, that would have been a big thing for me.
It's all the math and memory.
I was really good at math.
Oh, yeah.
So like it shouldn't have been an issue, except that my teacher for chemistry was this dude who also taught up at the colleges, right? But he used the same college material that he did in his regular classes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like advanced, and like we weren't even in honors chemistry. Some of us in the class were, but we weren't in honors chemistry. But everyone got the same material in all of his classes, and this dude was booked up on coffee. Like he had this big old jug, and he would fill that thing up with like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jugs of coffee, and down that shit all in the school time. This dude was fucking wired, man.
Yeah.
He's always bouncing around, freaking out, always hyper energy, fucking always very
like
loud.
Chemist, huh?
Yeah, very, very mad science-y kind of egos. And he always had catchphrases, too, He's like, oh, I can't do that, or else the wife will leave me, and I'll be living in a van down by the river. That was one of his. Or, like, he would call money cabbage, or he would say ball game or some shit. Like, he always had these catchphrases that he would just bust out at random times. Like, are you trying to be funny? Your timing? But, yeah, like, everyone hated that class. It was hard. That shit was hard.
I bet. No, chemistry's not easy. That's for sure.
No.
Especially trying to do it at college level in high school.
And there was this, I have a issue with smell, right? And so we were doing this lab where there was this like beaker or something, and it's like try to get a smell by like wafting the scent away from the tube to get the smell. And everyone else is doing that, and they could smell it. I tried to do that. My nose isn't as good, so I was like, okay, that's not working. How about just... It was chlorophoric acid. I burnt the shit out of my nose.
Damn. So now you really can't smell.
Yeah, but the nose hairs grew back, so imagine that.
That's funny. Man, yeah. No, chemistry can be a fun little... I mean, just even like pool chemicals can fuck you up too,
Yeah. I've gotten chlorine burns.
Yeah.
When a pool's like 68% chlorine.
Stop peeing in it, they won't have to do that.
I didn't do it.
Oh man, this was fun. It was cool catching up with you. Now you're fixing to head out to back to Ohio.
Yep, I'm gonna go back, regroup, get myself back in shape, and I don't know how long that'll take, but I got some plans and leads going forwards. Thinking about doing a couple of shows out there. Thinking about starting a couple of shows out there.
Let's get it. Yeah.
Got a plan, so gonna get that figured out, get that going, and
restructure. Yeah. Now the car people will know where you're at, though, so you gotta watch out for them.
What are they gonna do? Come get the car I don't have?
They're gonna repo your shoes.
Repo my shoes. They can have them, man. Those things have lost the foot on them. Like there used to be. I wear these black Crocs or non-slip safety shoes for when I worked in kitchens. Yeah. But the non-slip have since fallen off.
Oh yeah. Now they just slip.
Yeah. Now they're just slip.
Wow. Well, get you some new shoes, get you some new wheels, get you some new shows, and then come back out here, man. I'd love to see you back out.
Oh, yeah, man.
It was cool talking with you. It was cool hanging with you. And, yeah, bro, thanks for giving us this little bit of time.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
Cool, brother.
Thank you.
Have a good one, man. Yep.